According to my brother and my wife, I spent my wisdom tooth surgery doing Ric Flair woos and John Cena hand waves, and somehow flying like Superman. The crazy part is, I only remember the flying. Welcome back to the Save Files. It's been a while since I posted one of these, and today's is kind of crazy. It's about the day I got my wisdom teeth surgically removed. The day I flew like Superman through a sky of colors. The day I experienced complete freedom while soaring through the air with my hand on my hip, like I was in the Justice League. Let me get you up to speed on what happened. It all started seriously. I was completing my counseling internship in college, and man, I kept getting these headaches, bad ones, man. They'd make me dizzy. So I immediately thought that it was blood pressure because I got blood pressure problems, and I was the first guest. So man, I went to the doctor, told him what was going on, got my blood pressure checked. Everything came out normal. So I'm wondering, man, why am I getting these headaches and why am I feeling dizzy? So a friend of mine who was doing the internship with me asked me if I had wisdom teeth, and I guess I did. I've always heard of them. I heard they come out from the back, but I didn't know. So I was like, I don't know, I guess. So since doctors couldn't really find what was causing the dizziness, I said, you know what, I'll try a dentist. And so I went, and sure enough, that's what it was. My wisdom teeth didn't grow out, they were growing inward on the top and the bottom. And they were pressing in on my other teeth, causing pressure and pain and the symptoms that I was dealing with at that time. And since they weren't sticking out from my gums, they had to be surgically removed. And that's where this whole story began. So, the day of the surgery, I'm sitting there in the lobby getting ready to be called in. It's an outpatient thing. And luckily, my brother took me. But to do the surgery, you had to fast for 8 hours. You couldn't eat for, not 8 hours, you had to fast for 12 hours. So, man, I'm starving. I haven't had nothing since the day before. And, man, we're sitting there waiting. My stomach's growling. And a bunch of people are in the office, too, man. So it's like, and so, man, I'm trying to make grunty noises to, like, hopefully nobody hears, like, trying to clear my throat. I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing hearing that. Well, where the surgery was happening, the office, it was in Corpus Christi, Texas, by the way, and it was in it's in basically a center, and I mean they have all kinds of things. They had the office, they had some stores, and across from the center was a restaurant called Andy's Kitchen. If you know, you know. Anyway, I'm sitting there at the dentist waiting to get called in. Man, I'm starving. And I'm scared too because I've never gone through nothing. I've never had any type of surgery. And so my brother walks me, he left her, and he came back in. And this dude comes back with the foil paper, with a big thing of foil, opens it up, and he's eating a bacon egg taco right in front of me. And I'm just thinking, what a jerk. I'm just kidding, bro. I don't think you're a jerk. You're very grateful for you and for helping me out there. But seriously, man, that taco it looked really good, and man, it smelled good too. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted one. So anyway, they call me back for the surgery. They hook me up to all the equipment. Man, I'm scared, dude. I'm really scared. I've never done nothing like this before. And of course, they take my blood pressure, and dude, I'm scared. So it's through the roof. Nurse is looking at the monitor like, okay, we need to get this down before we can proceed. So they call my brother to come back over to the area with me. And so he's talking to me. I'm really grateful he was there. Talks to me, helps me get kind of calmed back down to where my blood pressure got into a pretty manageable level to where they could do the surgery. So the surgeon asks if I'm ready, and I kind of just give him a nod and just like, yeah, I guess, man, as ready as I'm gonna be. So man, he gives me a list of scents. They hook up all this little oxygen. I thought it was an oxygen thing. So man, they hooked this thing up. Tells me what kind of scent I want. They had like cherry, grape, all kinds of things. And apparently, I like bananas, so I went with that. So he tells me to breathe in the banana scented air and count back from 10. So I'm like, all right, 10, 9, 8, 7. And man, I don't remember anything after that. I just remember, well, I don't remember anything happening in that office. What I experienced was seeing like colors like everywhere bursting around me like a firework, but softer. The best way I could describe it is like if you're looking through if anybody has ever looked through a kaleidoscope, it was like that. And then, of all things, I was flying. I wasn't falling. I was like flying. Stuff was like going by me, and I'm just like, what's going? I'm looking around like, what's going on here? And seriously, man, I was flying like Superman through this colored sky. And man, at first I was freaked out. Like, man, what am I? Why am I in the air? Where's the ground? What's going on? None of it made sense. And then that feeling kicked in. Like, whoa, man! I cussed, but I'm gonna. This is a family thing here. I said, "Oh snap! I'm really flying." And before you ask, yes, I did the whole hand on my hip Superman flight pose. I mean, I was all in, man. Arm out in front, the other hand on my hip, man. I was soaring through the sky, man. It felt real to me. I could feel the wind, the movement, the colors rushing past me. Complete freedom, man. No gravity, no limitations, just flying. I don't know how long I was flying because in that state, time didn't really exist. It could have been seconds, it could have been hours. I have no idea. But I was flying, man. I was going straight. I was spinning around. And for real, I could hear the Superman theme playing while I was flying in there. And man, it was majestic, man. So that's all going on, and apparently they're doing the surgery, and the surgery finishes. So it's all done, wisdom teeth removed, my mouth's full of gauze, my face is swelling up, and my brother picks me up. So this is all according to him because I don't know, I don't remember anything that happened inside of that office except for counting back from 10 and making it to 7. So this is from my brother's point of view. He says when he came to pick me up, they brought me to him in a wheelchair, and the first thing I told him was, "Hey, effer!" And man, he says the nurses were laughing because I said it in front of everybody. And then he says, I guess I had the power to get up on my own. So apparently I got up from the chair and I looked back and I said, oh snap, I left my behind in that seat. And man, he says that everybody was just cracking up. And that when I started walking towards him, because apparently I could walk, I was walking around going, woo, 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 like Ric Flair. And he tells me that the nurses, everybody in that office could not stop laughing. And a lot of them were saying, man, I bet he is a blast to go out and drink with. And he says he told him, you know what? He actually doesn't drink. And man, that just made him crack up even more. So apparently, me on anesthesia is pretty wild. But it was crazy too. I wouldn't consider myself, I don't call myself straight edge. I mean, but I've never been high before. I drink maybe once or twice a year. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. And I'm but so I mean, at that time, I wasn't sure if I was really high under anesthesia, but I guess I was because I mean, golly, all I remember was flying, the colors, the freedom, and that Superman theme going and hitting that pose and spinning, doing all kinds of crazy flight tricks. And man, then when everything wore off, I was in pain, man. My mouth was swollen. and we're trying to talk to my wife with a mouthful of gauze. And the only thing I remember from my time with my wife, who was my actually my fiance at that time, was looking in the mirror, and I remember telling her I look like a chipmunk. And here's her point. Here's her thing. So she tells me, because I'm still kind of out of it, but my bro, after all that stuff at the office, the dental office happened, my brother took me to my mom's house because my wife was working at the time. So he didn't have a key to my apartment. So he took me to my mom and dad's house, and apparently they set me up in one of their bedrooms. And when my wife came to pick me up, she said she looked through the door, and she said that when she saw me, apparently gave her the John Cena "you can't see me" thing and was doing that all the way home. So I guess anesthesia me can cut a wrestling promo and does wrestling moves. So, and to be honest, I don't know how she even got me up to the apartment because it was on I believe it was the second floor, and it was pretty high and steep up there. So I really don't remember. I don't remember her picking me up and even getting me to the apartment. But she said I walked and she did by herself. So man, thank you to my wife too at that time, or fiance at that time, who's now my wife. But with all that happened, here's what I learned from it. Sometimes what you experience isn't what everybody else sees. I mean, dude, I was flying like Superman through a sky full of colors. And while that was going on, I guess my brother and my wife were seeing, and I guess everybody in that dental office too, were seeing me wooing like Ric Flair and doing John Cena hand waves. Both were real, both were true, but I guess just different perspectives. And also, banana scented anesthesia is wild. So if you ever get the option, just know you might end up thinking you're Superman or cutting wrestling promos in a doctor's office or at home, and or maybe doing both. Mostly, man, I'm just grateful for my brother and my wife for being there for me that day and getting me home two times, getting one to my parents' house, and then for my wife getting me to our apartment. Because I really have no idea how they were able to do that, but I guess I was good enough to walk while I was still flying in my head. Man, that's the cool thing, I guess, with family. They see you at your weirdest, they see you at your wildest moments, and they love you anyway. They still stuck around. So thank you for listening to the save file. And yeah, this one was a weird one, but it happened. And somewhere in my brain, I still remember what it felt like to fly. If you guys had any experiences like this, let me know in the comments. And I will see you guys on the next one.